Welcome friends, this is Dr. Vinay Bavkar. Friends, today we are going to talk about a very different topic, depression. Come on friends, let's start. Hey guys, please notice, this video is for informational purpose only and should not be used as a replacement for expert medical advice. Friends, depression is a common mental disorder characterized by sadness, loss of interest or pleasure, feeling of guilt or low self worth, disturbed sleep or appetite, feeling of tiredness, and poor concentration. It can be long lasting or recurrent, substantially impairing a person's ability to function at work or school or cope with daily life. At its most severe, depression can lead to suicide. When mild, depression can be treated without medicines, but when moderate or severe, people may need medication and professional talking treatments. Depression often starts at a young age. It affects women more often than men, and unemployed people are also at high risk. Friends, now let us talk about the causes of the depression. It is often said that depression results from a chemical imbalance, but that figure of speech doesn't capture how complex the disease is. Research suggests that depression doesn't spring from simply having too much or too little of certain brain chemicals. Rather, depression has many possible causes, including faulty mood regulation by the brain, genetic vulnerability, stressful life events, medications, and medical problems. It is believed that several of these forces interact to bring on depression. To be sure, chemicals are involved in this process, but it is not a simple matter of one chemical being too low and another too high. Rather, many chemicals are involved, working both inside and outside nerve cells. There are millions, even billions of chemical reactions that make up the dynamic system that is responsible for your mood, perceptions, and how you experience life. Friends, with this level of complexity, you can see how two people might have similar symptoms of depression, but the problem on the inside and therefore what treatments will work best may be entirely different. Researchers have learned much about the biology of depression. They have identified genes that make individuals more vulnerable to low moods and influence how an individual responds to drug therapy. One day, these discoveries should lead to a better, more individualized treatment, but that is likely to be years away. And while researchers know more now than ever before about how the brain regulates mood, their understanding of the biology of depression is far from complete. Friends, now let us talk about signs and symptoms of depression. A person may be depressed if, for more than 2 weeks, he or she has felt sad, down, or miserable most of the time, or has lost interest or pleasure in usual activities, and has also experienced several of the signs and symptoms across at least three of the categories. It is important to note that everyone experiences some of these symptoms from time to time, and it may not necessarily mean a person is depressed. Equally, not every person who is experiencing depression will have all of these symptoms. Depression affects behavior of a person, like not going out anymore, not getting things done at work or school, withdrawing from close family and friends, relying on alcohol and sedatives, not doing usual enjoyable activities, and unable to concentrate. Feelings associated with depression are overwhelmed, guilty, irritable, frustrated, lacking in confidence, unhappy, indecisive, disappointed, miserable, and sad. Friends, the thoughts associated with depression are like I am a failure, it is my fault, nothing good ever happens to me, I am worthless, life is not worth living, people would be better off without me, and likewise. Guys, physical signs associated with depression are tired all the time, sick and run down, headaches and muscle pains, churning gut, sleep problems, loss or change of appetite, and significant weight loss or gain. Friends, now let us talk about the types of the depression. First one is major depressive disorder or clinical depression. Major depression seems to occur from one generation to the next in some families, but may affect people with no family history of the illness. Second type of depression is called as manic depression or bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder was formerly called manic depression. Bipolar disorder is a complex genetic disorder. The mood swings associated with it alternate from major or clinical depression to mania or extreme elation. Third type is called as dysthymic depression. Dysthymia, sometimes referred to as mild or chronic depression, is less severe and has fewer symptoms than major depression. The next type of depression is called as psychotic depression. Psychotic depression is a subtype of major depression. Occurs when a severe depressive illness includes some form of psychosis, either hallucinations or delusions. Next type of depression is endogenous depression. A severe form of depression usually characterized by insomnia, weight loss, and inability to experience pleasure, thought to be of internal origin and not influenced by external events. Friends, the next depression is called as situational depression. Situational depression is a short-term condition that occurs when a person is unable to cope with or adjust to a particular source of stress, such as a major life change or loss or event. Friends, now let us talk about the treatment of depression. Depression medicines, also called as antidepressant. There are many types of depression medicines today. Second form of treatment is called as psychotherapy. Psychotherapy, also called talk therapy or counseling, is a process focused on helping you heal and learn more constructive ways to deal with the problems or issues within your life. It can also be a supportive process when going through a difficult period or under increased stress, such as starting a new career or going through a divorce. Third form of treatment is called as electric shock treatment. Electroconvulsive therapy or ECT is used for severe depression or when depression medicines fail to work. Friends, fourth form of treatment is called as interpersonal therapy. Interpersonal therapy focuses on the interpersonal relationship of the depressed person. The idea of interpersonal therapy is that depression can be treated by improving the communication patterns and how people relate to others. The fifth form of treatment is psychodynamic therapy. Psychodynamic therapy is designed to help patients explore the full range of their emotions, including feelings they may not be aware of. Friends, sixth or the last form of therapy is cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavior therapy or CBT is a type of psychotherapeutic treatment that helps patients understand the thoughts and feelings that influence behaviors. CBT is commonly used to treat a wide range of disorders, including phobias, addiction, depression, and anxiety. Friends, now let us talk about something related to depression, that is, understanding depression in a friend or family member. Depression is a serious condition. Don't underestimate the seriousness of depression. Depression drains a person's energy, optimism, and motivation. Your depressed loved one can't just snap out of it by sheer force of will. The symptoms of depression aren't personal. Depression makes it difficult for a person to connect on a deep emotional level with anyone, even the people he or she loves most. In addition, depressed people often say hurtful things and lash out in anger. Remember that this is the depression talking, not your loved one, so try not to take it personally. Hiding the problem won't make it go away. It doesn't help anyone involved if you are making excuses, covering up the problem, or lying for a friend or family member who is depressed. In fact, this may keep away the depressed person from seeking treatment. You cannot fix someone else's depression. Don't try to rescue your loved one from depression. It is not up to you to fix the problem, nor can you. You are not to blame for your loved one's depression, or responsible for his or her happiness or lack thereof. Ultimately, recovery is in the hands of the depressed person. Friends, now let us talk about one important topic, that is, tips for taking care of yourself. Think of this challenging time like a marathon. You need extra sustenance to keep yourself going. The following ideas will help you keep your strength up as you support your loved one through depression treatment and recovery. Speak up for yourself. You may be hesitant to speak out when the depressed person in your life upsets you or lets you down. However, honest communication will actually help the relationship in the long run. If you are suffering in silence and letting resentment build, your loved one will pick up on these negative emotions and feel even worse. Gently talk about how you are feeling before pent up emotions make it too hard to communicate with sensitivity. Set boundaries. Of course, you want to help, but you can only do so much. Your own health will suffer if you let your life be controlled by your loved one's depression. You can't be a caretaker round the clock without paying a psychological price. To avoid burnout and resentment, set clear limits on what you are willing and able to do. You are not your loved one's therapist, so don't take on that responsibility. Friends, stay on track with your own life. While some changes in your daily routine may be unavoidable while caring for your friend or relative, do your best to keep appointments and plans with friends. If your depressed loved one is unable to go on an outing or trip you had planned, ask a friend to join you instead. Seek support. You are not betraying your depressed relative or friend by turning to others for support. Joining a support group, talking to a counselor or clergyman, or confiding in a trusted friend will help you get through this tough time. You don't need to go into detail about your loved one's depression or betray confidences. Instead, focus on your emotions and what you are feeling. Make sure you can be totally honest with the person you turn to, no judging your emotions. Friends, now let us talk about the current scenario of depression. Nearly every 13th person in India runs at the risk of developing an episode of depression during his lifetime, according to a study conducted by the World Health Organization. While experts in India reckon the threat, they caution that efforts to fight depression will remain futile unless social stigma and ignorance attached to it are removed. According to a study conducted by the Global Health Agency, World Health Organization, chances of an individual developing an episode of depression during the lifetime is 9% in India. According to WHO, depression is slated to become the second leading cause of death and disability across the world by 2020. Hey guys, last but not the least, I would really like to tell you, be active, don't isolate yourself, do things you once liked to do, even if you don't feel like it. Don't punish yourself for feeling bad. Exercise, read, communicate with the people, listen to the music, keep yourself busy, watch movies, travel, try to be happy. Remember, happiness is there deep within you. You just have to explore it. If you follow these simple steps, depression will never come your way. Take care, guys. Goodbye.